You're listening to the Public Health Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley. On this podcast, we explore topics of interest for professionals at the intersection of public health and entrepreneurship. My name is Dr. Charlotte Huntley, and I'm your host. I'm excited that you've decided to join me on this podcast episode. I'm a public health entrepreneur, and I have over 25 years of experience in both healthcare and in public health, and I've supported a lot of entrepreneurs along the way. On this particular episode, we're going to dive into systems and productivity. I want to start with answering the question, what does systems and productivity mean for public health entrepreneurs? Again, this is a part of a series where I'm sharing with you a framework that I coach from in helping the members of our mastermind group program, as well as one-on-one coaching clients in the past, in accomplishing the goals that you set for your business. And it centers around some of these main areas that we've been discussing. So in the previous 2 episodes, I've talked about marketing and lead generation. I've talked about offers and sales. And now we're going to talk about systems and productivity. And I like starting off by answering that question. What does that mean? Also, because as we move on into the new year, I'm going to be sharing more podcast topics that fall under one of these areas. And when I refer to this framework, I want you to know what I'm talking about. And I can always refer back to this episode, and you can too if you forget what some of these things mean. So this is one of those episodes that I hope you'll refer back to for clarity as time goes on. But what does systems and productivity mean for public health entrepreneurs? Well, let's dive into that. Systems are organized processes and procedures that help you or help your business run smoothly and consistently. How you do business. You can think of it as your business playbook. And it shows things like operations or your operations systems, how work gets done. So that could be your client onboarding process. It could be service delivery steps. It could be communication protocol. It could be project management systems or workflows. Also, your system or your playbook could include administrative systems. So this could be your scheduling and calendar management or your file organization. It could also include your email management and billing and invoicing procedures. All of this falls under administrative systems. And then yet another component of your systems could be your marketing system. So lead follow-up processes. In the 2 episodes back, we talked about marketing and lead generation. So a part of your system is your marketing system, which is your lead follow-up process. How are you following up with people you met at a conference, for example, or following up with people that you engage with on social media or met in a local event? Content creation and workflow could also be a part of your marketing system. How are you creating the content? For example, I'm recording this podcast episode, which is some content for our business. So how are you creating, if you have a podcast or a writing newsletter or creating any other content for your marketing purposes? So that content creation workflow is a part of the marketing system. Social media posting schedule. Hopefully you're not just copying what you see someone else do, but you may start out like that until you start to tweak and figure out what works in your business. But considering what works for you and the social media platform, what's your posting schedule? What does that look like? And then email marketing sequences. All of these things are part of your marketing system. So you've got your operations, you've got administrative systems, and you've got marketing systems that are all integrated parts of your overall systems, how you do business. Now, productivity refers to how efficiently you use your time and resources to get results. So for example, time management, we're all familiar with time management. So that means maybe blocking your calendar for different activities. I'm a huge fan of blocking off time on my calendar. I think that's because that's kind of part of how I operate and work. It keeps me organized. And I know if it's on my calendar, it needs to get done. And I actually have time for it. I've carved out time or designated time for these activities. So blocking your calendar for different activities, setting priorities for every day, your day, your week, that's a part of your time management. Managing deadlines effectively, which I think there's always room for improvement there, right? And another part of time management is avoiding time-wasting activities. Sometimes we can get caught up in that, right? Sometimes it's a part of how we procrastinate when we don't want to do something that we really need to do. Or am I just talking about me? Anyway, time management is an important part of productivity. Another part of that is your resource optimization. Using the right tools and software, delegating tasks appropriately, as well as automating repetitive work or focusing on high impact activities. That is resource optimization. You want to make the most of your resources. You want to, in being productive, being the most efficient and the most resourceful. So again, using the right tools and software. So sometimes you want to automate things and use different technology, delegating tasks appropriately to team members that you have, and focusing on those high impact activities. Let me give you an example of systems and productivity. A health consultant, their routine might be something like this. In the morning, check calendars and look at top priorities. Review client progress, handle urgent emails, prepare for meetings. The afternoon might be client sessions, project work, actual work that you've gotten contract, you're getting paid to do, so that project work, team check-ins, and any other documentation. On a weekly basis, you might have content creation Mondays, where I do that actually. I do the majority of my podcast recordings on Mondays. Client meetings, Tuesdays through Thursday. Administrative work, maybe you reserve Fridays for that. And then also planning the next week. Maybe at the end of Friday, you plan your next week. So that's just an idea of a weekly flow. Here's some tools that might be useful. A calendar system for appointments. And there are a lot of options out there, but you can automate that system where you put your availability into that system, and people that you want to meet with, you just give them a link and they're able to schedule a meeting with you without you having to go back and forth in emails and juggle everything out each time you want to schedule an appointment with someone. Another tool might be project management tool for tasks. We had a previous episode where we talked about that. Let's see, project management, CRM for client information. I won't go down a rabbit trail there because there are a lot of options. You can research those on your own. And an automation tool for emails. So those are some of the tools and software that you might want to think about. Systems and productivity. It's really that, how you're doing business and how efficient you're being in the process. I really love sharing these tips with you, these strategies with you on this podcast. I'm grateful for the opportunity to do that and really happy that you tuned in for it. If you're finding value in these episodes, please share this podcast with your network. It helps our show grow and helps to motivate us and encourage us to continue to make this a free resource and show up for you twice a week. You can easily share through the podcast app that you're listening right now, or you can share our website, publichealthentrepreneurs.com. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more.